Hey there, it's Michael Greenwood. So, yeah, I just wanted to run through some business tips that I've learned over the years that I've been in business, really. So, yeah, starting with number one then. So, your inputs are the things that are going to actually create the revenue, the cash flow that you need for your business. So, you're not going to make it in business just from your ideas. You've got to actually execute and take action. That's the number one thing, really. You've got to take daily action every day that you work. And I'm not saying work 7 days a week, definitely not. But every day that you're working, you've got to take actions, and they've got to be high leverage, income producing, as much as possible. So it's the execution, it's the ideas, which are taken into action, basically, where you take action steps, not just the ideas. It's not going to just in your head, but you need to have the ideas, but you've got to put inputs in. So, for example, examples of inputs might be posting content every day on social media, making 20 sales calls a day. That's an input. Improving the offer that you make is an input. So let's say you made the offer to 100 people and have not gone with it. Then you need to change your offer. You've done a test and measure there. So just do more of what drives the revenue, not just what feels productive. So that's pretty much key. We've got to take logical steps and double down on things that are actually working in the business. It's like when you first start, you might do a bit of cold calling, you might do some DMs, you might do some email marketing, but at the end of the day, when you're a micro business, a small company, you want to find what works and then double down on that, and then really go deep on that one thing. So you may find that cold calling is best for you. So you might want to just cut the other things then, so then you can really go deep on that one outreach method. Really, so focus on it and take it as deep as you can. Next one then is to have a really good offer, something that's got scarcity, something that makes people take action. So something that's pretty much something that they're going to want to go ahead with, really. It's going to add value. It's going to solve a problem that they've got in the business, for that specific niche, and it's going to do it quickly as well, with as little risk on their part as possible. And usually, when you first start off in business, you're probably going to need to have some kind of guarantee to stand out from the competition. But then later on, when you've got case studies, your case studies become pretty much your guarantee. So especially if you're working with a particular niche, which I would recommend that you do, because you're going to have economies of scale, you're going to have less operational intensity, so fewer moving parts in your business, if you're doing that. So, I mean, all you need to, we're problem solvers in business, so we just need to find a solution that's repeatable for another client in that niche, for other clients in that niche, and then just go really deep on that as well. And you might not know which niche you want to work with, and you might want to, try a few different niches in the early stages, and that's usually advisable. But at the end of the day, if you want to have um, a business that's quite lean, with as little operational drag as possible, then niching is usually the way. And it's not just niching in terms of the industry type, but also the service or products that you offer as well. So, for example, I used to try to run a full service digital marketing agency, which didn't really work because I found it wasn't profitable because there were too many services. So I cut back on the number of services, to just a few key services. And it's kind of like every time you add a service, you add in a level of complexity, lots more moving parts, lots of SOPs. You need more people more specialists in those areas. So you're better off going really deep on just one, perhaps two services for one or perhaps two niches. The more niches you add, the more services you add, the more outbound channels you add, the more things you do in terms of your marketing. whether it's inbound or outbound, you're gonna add more complexity. So it's just going to get more and more crazy in your business. So simplicity is really what we're going for in the business. But yeah, just remember that the thing is we're problem solvers. Remember that we're problem solvers, and a niche. Once you've helped one niche, they're going to have the same problems. So let's say you're helping roofers to get more leads. Roofers of a certain revenue level every month are going to all have the same growth problems. They're going to have the same problems in scaling. They're all going to have the same problems. So if you help one, then you can use that same repeatable process or same SOPs in the service delivery to help another and another. So it's going to be quite operationally intense coming up with the SOPs when you're building the business and all that kind of thing, and learning, that thing for the first time with the first client. But then it's going to get easier and easier, and there's going to be economies of scale. When you get better and better at delivering that repeatable, consistent service. So you're actually doing yourself a disservice and clients a disservice if you're trying to work with lots of different types of service. And it's actually, I found it's an emotional decision to want variety in the business, when really we should be like drilling down into one or two different niches, really. So, and I'm still not there. It's a difficult thing with the business. When you think, right, I should be doing this, but I kind of fancy this project and I wouldn't mind doing that project, and all that kind of thing. And got to kind of get out of that way of thinking as a business owner and think logically rather than emotionally. And it's a difficult thing to do. But as long as we're trying to as long as we are spreading ourselves too thin in business and trying to charge forward on multiple fronts at the same time, we are just going to be spread so thin. So it's better to just it's process elimination, trimming the fat, etc. So next is buying back time. So look, this is the way that I do it. I hire for service delivery, fulfillment primarily at this time, and then later on it'll be marketing and sales. In fact, I'm just about to hire somebody again for cold calling. I did that last year, but there was some issues with that, and then so we're having another go at that. And that's the thing: when you fail at something, you learn from that as well. But you're usually better off actually if you can get a business coach or mentor or whatever and actually learn from their mistakes that they made, and they can just tell you kind of, not don't do that. But I've been kind of arrogant in the past, where I've ignored the business coach's advice and still done it, and then learnt the hard way, and then wasted time and money on that kind of thing. And that's one of the things I did last year with a particular cold caller. Advised not to, did it anyway. With this particular individual, and it backfired on me, and I kind of learnt the hard way, and I didn't need to learn the hard way. But you got to remember that our time is the thing that we can't get back. We can't get our time back, so we've got to buy back time by delegating. So we've got to delegate to other people, build a team, and not spend time on low leverage activities, non-income producing activities, really. And it's worth noting down the role that we're going to have in the company eventually, or at certain stages in the company, because when we first start a company, if we're a solopreneur, we'll do everything. We'll do absolutely everything in the company, but then eventually we'll hit a capacity, and we'll have to start to hire other people, which is what I started to do. And now I've got a little team in my business, and I'm growing my company, and they can work on their thing, and I'll make sure every day that they've got enough work to do. So next thing then, money is the lifeblood of a business, or cash flow, and basically the more people who know about your business, the more attention it gets, the more people who are aware of it in the first place, the more money you're going to make, basically. So it's important to build, to do marketing, basically, build an audience, build trust, build that know, like, and trust, and then monetize that. So that can be, I mean, there's three ways of getting business in. There's paid ads, which you can do if you've got money to put into that. But not all startup businesses, a lot of startup businesses are undercapitalized, so you might not have money to print paid ads. If you don't have money to print paid ads, then you can do content marketing, so video content on social media, and you can do outbound as well, so like cold calling, DMs, email marketing, that kind of thing, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, the stuff. The thing is, when you outreach to somebody, when you cold call a prospect, they will automatically look online for you anyway, a lot of the time, and check you out, see if you're not a scammer and things like that. So they'll look for video content. So it's pretty much a non-negotiable these days. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for you for this video. I hope you found it. Hope you found it useful in terms of just some business lessons off the cuff that I've got for you. But yeah, drop me a comment. Is any of what I've not mentioned there something that you're doing, that you want to be doing, that you want to get more into? Yeah, I'll see you next time.